Did you know that you have superpowers? Today I have two friends with me. I have Bodhi and I have Corinne, and we are going to talk about special senses, our superpowers. I'm Lisa and this is BioBox Labs. Today we are going to talk about many of our special senses because they are like superpowers, and sometimes we aren't even grateful for these powers that we have. So today we're going to talk about hearing, we're going to talk about balance, which is a superpower. We are going to talk about taste and smell and touch, and these are the various experiments that we get to do today with my incredible two assistants. First, we are going to talk about the power of hearing. We're going to use these tuning forks. We all have them, right? You have one too. In fact, they're going to come in a different variety. Each one of you will get a unique tuning fork, and you can try practicing using them. You can either bang them against a wooden spoon. Here you can bang them against your hand, Corinne. Or you can even bang them against this wood. You want to bang it against a wood board, and you can hold them up next to you until you hear. Now, oftentimes that first sound's not what you end up hearing next to you. You just hear that vibration. So how does your ear work? Let's take a look at this illustration and we can talk about how sound gets into your ear and eventually up to your brain. So now we're going to do the experiment, and we are going to have Corinne sit here in a chair. Let me move it up closer, stand up. And then we're going to move it up over. We're going to move you sideways. There we go. And Bodhi is going to be the one to test. Now what he's going to do is Corinne is going to close her eyes, and Bodhi is going to strike his tuning fork here, and then he's going to hold it up to one of the listed things in experiment 1. You'll see there's lots of different places to do it, and Corinne is going to try to guess where that location is. You can close your eyes. Okay, so you want to start, Bodhi, to hit it against here. Okay, guess where that is?
Here?
Okay,
that was right.
Okay, now try it again. Let's see if so she guessed that one right.
Behind my head.
Okay, behind your head. Okay.
Is that right?
That was right. Okay,
Oh, wow.
Do it again. Want to try one more? Want to try this one this time? Okay, and you can put it.
I'm pretty sure it's here again.
Okay, so you think it's on the left, but that one is actually up a bit above.
I don't
Okay,
know.
so now what we're going to do is try to trick you. Put an earplug inside of your left ear.
Left? I left.
Okay, and now we're going to do it again. But you're going to mix up where you hold it. Okay, so try it again.
Right here?
Okay, that sounded like, but it was not. Where was it? It was in the front. Okay, next. Bodhi, try it again.
Behind my head? Yep.
No. Okay, that was above your head. Okay, so you get the idea how we're going to do this experiment. Now, what do you think happens? Do you think she can hear as well when she has an earplug in as she can with two ears? What do you think? What happens when you sometimes get an ear infection or a really bad cold that plugs your ears? Do you sometimes hear something different than you do with two ears? Something to think about. And that's one of the things you get to do in this particular BioBox. Did you know that your ears do more than just hear? In fact, inside your ear, way in the inner part of your ear, are these structures called semicircular canals. Go back to the illustration that we showed you earlier and you'll see the little loops. So I'm going to show you what the semicircular canals look like. They look kind of like these pipe cleaners that are spud here. And if you look, you can see that there's a loop in every single direction. There's one this direction, there's one this direction, there's one this direction, just like the semicircular canals inside your inner ear. And these loops are actually tubes filled with fluid. So when you move, the fluid moves inside of them. And it's kind of like this. So what happens, I have a beaker filled with water and some pepper, and if I spin it around, the solution begins to move, and it moves and moves and moves and moves. What happens when I stop moving the solution? What happens?
It keeps turning and then it slowly stops.
Right, it keeps turning. So when you stop spinning, inside your semicircular canal, they're still spinning. So we're gonna actually do an experiment, and we're gonna go outside, and we're gonna see if you can get that solution to spin in each one of these loops of your semicircular canals. So you're gonna do somersaults to do one direction, this would be this direction. You're gonna do cartwheels to go sideways, and then you're gonna spin around in place and see if you can get all the fluid inside your ear spinning and see how it feels when you stop. Okay, for this next experiment, we are going to be looking at the superpower of your skin. In fact, your skin has the ability to determine touch and heat and cold and pain and all sorts of types of sensations. So I have these guys, and they're going to do the first experiment, which is to determine touch. And did you know that different parts of your skin have the ability to know whether you can touch, and you can determine whether it's two things touching you or one, and certain areas are more sensitive than others. So Corinne's going to show this first experiment on Bodhi. And you're going to show, okay, the back of the hand, so lay it on the table. And she's going to have him close his eyes, and alternately, sometimes she's going to touch him with two and sometimes with one, and she's going to see if she can trick him into knowing which it is. Okay, go ahead.
Close your eyes.
One. Two. One. Two. One. One. Two. Good. Okay. So now Corinne's going to do it now Bodhi's going to do it to Corinne, but pick a different spot.
Anybody but this.
And all of these you can be recording down in your book. And what you'll notice, maybe you couldn't see from there, but sometimes she was actually touching him with two, and it only felt like one, which is really incredible. And so I think we're going to actually stop here and go on to the next experiment. The key for that one is that since you're going to be using these little pins, is you have to do it super gently, kind of holding the pins off to the side instead of straight down, which might be actually more painful than touch. So that's the next experiment. And now we're going to be going on to the sense of taste, which is actually their favorite. There are two other experiments with temperature that you will do in your lab book, but those ones we're not going to demonstrate today. So we're going to go on to their the experiment that they're the most excited about. This one is going to help you to see that on your tongue there's actually various areas that are more sensitive to various tastes. For instance, to sweet or to salty. There's also tastes like bitter. There's one that's even called umami, which certain taste receptors are sensitive to. We're going to look specifically at the taste of sweet and salty and see if we can map those regions on our tongue.
This is water. We added 3 packets of salt, even though the book says 1. It's better if it's 3. So just do 3. Or you can experiment, I don't care. Go. No. He's dipping that thing in to get it salty, and then he's going to put it on my tongue. It tastes really salty, actually does. Now we're going to use it with sweet. We use 2 packets, these 2. And now I'm going to do this to him. Ready? Yep, he tasted it. Yep, he tasted it.
Okay, so what you noticed is that they put them on their tongue, and they're going to be mapping. Not every place on your tongue tastes both salty and sweet. So you're going to kind of try to do that. And they did it with their thumbs because you can't really talk when you have stuff in your mouth. So there's a place to record it to see if you taste all those tastes in every single part of your tongue. And most likely you won't. Now we're going to move on to the most favorite of all the experiments as far as Corinne and Bodhi think. This is the one where we're going to see if you can distinguish flavors of lifesavers when they put them in your mouth. Do you need just your tongue? Or is there another superpower that's super important? Do you also need your nose? So in this experiment, we're going to take the lifesavers and they're going to give one to each other where their mouth is closed, their eyes are closed, and they're going to see if they can determine what the flavor is with their eyes closed and their nose plugged and just using their mouth.
Now I'm going to give him one of these, and he's going to try to see which one it is. Okay, Bodhi, which one is it?
Cherry.
Do I tell him which one? Unplug your nose and open your eyes. I'm pretty sure you were wrong.
Just let me guess now again. With
Oh.
this nut. Can you tell any difference with your nose unplugged? Does it taste different? Taste the same?
Yeah, exactly.
Open your mouth and try to smell it. Any difference?
Exactly the same.
Okay, it was not cherry, it was pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
Not Bodhi. Green apple?
Now unplug your nose. Is any difference?
Now it smells like green apple too.
And now it confirms that it actually is green apple.
Was it?
Nice.
It was. Very nice. So they have amazingly good taste because they were able to actually tell before they unplugged their nose. But what they found is when they unplugged their nose, their taste is so much better. Kind of like when you have a cold and you kind of can't taste something because your nose is so important in being able to taste stuff. Did you also know that as you age, your taste receptors go way down? So they're at the age where taste is the very best and things are a little bit less when you get to my age. But we have come to the end of our BioBox Labs. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Corinne. Thank you to Bodhi.
We also learned that lightsabers are great.
They are awesome. So thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, email us at info@BioBox or give us pictures or any kind of images that you want on our Facebook and Instagram post. Thank you for joining us.
You can also eat the lightsabers when they're done.